Well, you notice from talking, if it's not musical, then what's the sense? I mean, that solo was just where I just got to play. They all leave the stage, and that's a different solo. Like I said, it's like doing a drum. You get away with doing certain things, and you have to do drum things, especially at a clinic. But thankfully, most of my stuff, especially the jazz stuff, or on the little kit, or when I go out now with the cajon, snare drum, and now you're playing music, but now you still have to create. And again, when I solo, it's always some kind of theme, and hopefully expressing myself. But it's when you solo within a musical form. When you're trading with someone, that's what I really enjoy. Or someone's playing a constant, maybe a little montuno or an ostinato that the bass player or somebody's playing, then you get to solo over that with kicks. And we've talked about this. The biggest thing I see is, drum solos are great, and a lot of it now it's what drummers are doing is incredible.
Yes, drumming has evolved to where it's being picked up easier without all the technique of the George Lawrence Stone. I mean, there's something missing still, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this is what it is. We're in the world of videos and YouTube and what happens is it's like anything. If you play your drums hours and hours a day and work on I'm going to be the fastest guy doing this and doing this. Well, you do that a few hours a day, you're going to be the fastest one. But what's lacking with a lot of the drum videos is there's no music. So, and I've seen it, you've seen it, where, I've had them down here, lessons where technically, incredible, they worked on, the whatever it is, feet, all this stuff. And then you put a click on and say, all right, let's just groove at 70. Or it's sometimes it amazes me that they can't even hear that tempo or that groove or just lay down. And what happens is the muscle memory takes over.
Yes.
And you could always see it with drummers that are always just soloing. And it happens when people if you're just playing drum solos, you go to a blues gig or something, you can actually see it. It's like the first thing, this is going on.
Right. Yes.
So we know, the technique, it's a funny thing because it takes repetition to develop muscle memory.
Right.
And that takes control. It takes more control to not do it now. To control your muscle memory.
Right.
Right. It's just and that's what comes from playing music. Yeah, because now you have to play music. You could be the fastest and whatever, but now here's your job right now. And that's what I say. Thankfully, I was always playing first from 10 years old doing gigs to starting to do weddings at 13. So it was nothing. And I wasn't a technical guy. I had some technique, but I was nothing about rudiment. I didn't know rudiments, and you noticed, till probably I got off the road. I was 18, 19, and then I started buckling down a little bit and saying, well, I should probably know these rudiments, especially if I'm going to start teaching.
Well, let's go to that, Frank, where you say you got off the road. When was you getting off this road? What road was that you got off?
The road was that's how life was then. I graduated high school now. Should I have went on to college? All my friends did. That's the funny thing, All my friends went on to college. I went on the road with my cousin's band. I had the blessings from my parents. They knew I wasn't going to college. I knew I was playing drums from, that's it. There was nothing else that I said, well, I'm going to become this. I'm going to be that. It was my cousin was already established, and he as soon as I graduated, he asked my parents. He's my first cousin,
Yes.
Like, are you cool with this? He said he still has to audition. So it wasn't like, because he was established. This guy was playing all over the country. And his bands were already, every band he was in, he was a respected guy. He worked, this is what I mean. He was he supported his wife, his kids, the house, the cars, without his wife even working, playing music.
So
I,
that's what influenced you?
yes, because I looked up to him. He was my older cousin, and I would say, you know, and then when my parents or uncles would say, "You got to get something. You got to find something to do. You can't be." I go, "Well, you know, Nick, here's what he's doing. That's his job. It was no, he did 5-7 nights a week, and he was never off until he would ask for a week off. So I looked up to that and said, well, I want to do that. So how ironic that he took me in the gig. I auditioned, and I auditioned with people in their 30s, late 20s. I was a kid, 17, 18, whatever it was.
Do you remember the song that you auditioned on?
He gave me, a few things, and I know one of them, which I still love it. It was, what was that? There was one was you make me feel like dancing.
Yes, okay. That's nice.
I feel like dancing, dancing. And I remember him saying to me, he goes, the drummer never did that part.
Yeah.
And then we did, you don't have to be a star, baby.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So
I did it with him.
That's amazing in itself. And like he said, drummers didn't fill in those little holes. So where did you get that from? Formal training? I mean, what made you?
No, I didn't have it. I that was just from listening. That was listening to the records at the time and just learning the parts. I wasn't a reader, not in those days, and I did things later on in life. But what I did was, you see, there's different sides to everything. There's no right or wrong.
Yes.
No right or wrong.
Right.
My way was, but I look at it and say, well, it's pretty cool it came that way. My way came from playing music and listening to music with my father with all the big band records. He brought albums home every week, and it was great that from all the styles that I was listening to, and that's why my love for big band and swing, from all the records he would bring home.
Right.
It was when you play drums, even in a kids band, it wasn't like, hey, let's see how fast you are. Let's, play me a song. Learn the song. We're going to learn the song. So it was all came from songs.
Right.
Songs. This is where it's the drums, like we said, our drums have evolved definitely with what people are doing.
Right.
But now all of a sudden it's tipping all this other way of drums. I got cymbals and toms and do this and do this. I'm going to do this and flip that up and, and it's like, well, now let me hear, can you play a brush groove? Can you play in a band that's playing everything? So again, what I always looked at was I have to play music. Then when my cousin took me in the band, I told you, even though he was my first cousin,
right,
find me money, take money away from me because I started.
Hold on. Let's talk about the fines. Fine you for what? The great Frank. What could he possibly do that for?
I would do stuff where he didn't want. You know what I mean? Like he was a stickler with. That's how we worked on it. That's how it is.
Yes.
Don't forget we're doing 5-7 nights a week, and after a while it's like, all right, So you start. So I would start. Now the funny thing was, as I got older, that's when I started taking lessons. Then about 18, 19, I sought out Chapin. So. Yeah. I really got into when I started studying. Then I was a nut. I got into Moeller, and I already was doing Moeller kind of naturally, as Jim said.
Okay, well, prior to you getting with Chapin, where'd you get the training from?
I didn't. I went to.
Oh, so you are a natural.
Well, it wasn't that. It was a natural of not knowing anything as far as in the educational part of it.
Right. Okay.
No reading. I wasn't reading.
Yes.
I had no idea what rudiments were. I never went through drum books all through school. Never. All I did was in bands from the time I was 9 years old when we moved out here. I already started. We were in a little rock band. Then I started playing when I still play with friends of mine in a horn band. We started doing Chicago and all. We were like a Chicago band. So you talk about having to learn songs, but I had to. These guys were all readers. they were all in band, my friends. And they were write out their parts and whatever. And the sax player was like a genius then. And he would write out drum parts with Danny Serafine. And I go, I have no idea what this is. I don't know this. So I would have to wear out the record over and over and learn it. And some of those, Chicago tunes, especially early on, were
yes.
It wasn't just the popular the popular tunes they had on radio, but we were doing everything. So,
how long did you stay with this band?
Well, again, I was playing all the way up until my cousin took me. Then I went on the road when all my friends went on to college.
Yes,
and I stayed with my cousin to my 18, 19, 20, and I'll say it again.
Yes.
Gigs were unbelievable. We went on the road. We went to Florida for 4 months. As soon as I got in the band, I got in the band December, January. We went for 4 months. So here I am leaving my family.
Yes.
Which at that time, and it was a good thing because that's when I started finally losing weight. Because I was a ton when I was a kid. But so we went on the road, and then we only came home for a couple of weeks, and then he booked Southfield, Michigan for another 9 weeks. Then we went to Cleveland.
Oh, my God.
It was you were never off. Then we were now in the tri-state area.
Yeah.
I have to drive and commute, but we would do New Jersey 5, 6, 7 nights a week. You did it for 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, whatever it was. You never did a one-nighter. Then,
okay.
And we had an agent, which a lot of, people
right.
my age still remember this one agent, and you were booked. As much as you wanted to work, you were booked, and then you would go to another room. So I did all the Holiday Inns out here, all the major hotels. We would do the City, 6-nighters. Some of the gigs were 5-nighters. Connecticut, that's where I met Kim, playing Stanford 6 nights a week at the Hilton or Ramada Inn, one of them. And you went week after week after week. And that's when I talk about I've never went to weddings. I never, family parties. Because it wasn't like we're taking off, like now, because everything, you don't even know when you're working. People are always subbing out. You were in that band, and that's how my cousin was. You're in that band, unless it's an emergency. These are our gigs.
Wow.
So it was that was a.
Did you or anybody in the band find that, okay, I can't do this no more. I want to go out and have a regular life or life with kids, or me and you spoke about that too, where I said, Frank, you got a chance to see your kids being raised, and what are you all doing now with the Corona? Where's the band?
Yeah. It's like I said, I've been out lately, thank God. Again, I've been working, but it's mainly duos, which again, I'm thankful. We do our Sunday thing. We started trios. Our Monday after 11 years just ended on Monday.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook. Yeah.
And I feel it's another restaurant going out of business, and let's say more are yet to come.
Wow.
So it's bad enough and hard enough to get gigs and work. Now you have 4,000 bands that came out of the woodwork, on this all this time off. Everybody starting a band, or this one wants to play, and so it's worse and worse. But as far as the big band stuff, we have a gig we're doing outside August 21st, so keep it in mind.
Okay.
They book us one. It's the town of Hempstead. They have all these concerts, all these tribute concerts.
Okay.
So ours is on a Friday, the 21st, in Long Beach area. But so we had a nice steady Thursday at KJ Farrell's, that great place in Belmore.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
and in corrections, and you always threatened me about bringing my weapon to lessons, and I said, Frank, this is kind of normal. I mean, I got a uniform on. Just get on with the lesson, okay?
Well, I tell people that. I go, Freddie will complain when it's gone. I go, all right, Fred, whatever you want to do, it's great. Go ahead. You sound great. Do whatever you want to do. There's the old saying, which my cousin told me when I got in the band with him. So, and I heard it my whole life. We've all have heard it. And the famous saying, which is the truest saying, is people hear with their eyes, okay? They hear with their eyes. And it's a fact, because see, any band, or when we had a band, and depending what you look like, who you put up front, blah, 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 you could be choking all over the place, playing the wrong chords, the wrong thing. But people will see something, And that is unbelievable. That's great. You know,
Yes.
they're great.
Yes.
They're great. And I've been in bands like that where it's like, man, it's like my friend that owns restaurants. He said, sell the sizzle, not the steak. Now,
Sell the sizzle, but not the steak.
There you go.
That's right. You know, if I go into a store and I hear it sizzling, I'm sold. Give me one of those.
It's just, well, there you go. And it's like, it doesn't matter a lot of times what the overall product is. That's what's happened with, again, YouTube and stuff, where there's many stars now on that when it comes down to the brass tacks of it and the product, that's the weakest thing. But the media thing and the explosions that they have coming on with right? So anyway, with that said, that's why I love jazz in a way, because it has, you know, I mean, everything has, but that's where, you know, you have to prove yourself here. It's I mean, in any music thing, but when you take away, it's like all these things we see on shows now, 4,000 dancers on stage spinning. And when you just shut your eyes, see, and I tell students this too. When you listen to something, don't watch it. Don't watch any videos. Close your eyes or turn away from it. Listen to the music or listen to the drummer, and you tell me, without seeing all the stuff, pyrotechnics going off, what are you hearing? You hear substance? You feel something? So anyway, the story, as you said with this, as I went on, I put videos up from my studio now, right?
Yes.
So, of course, in my studio, I have fun because I have every cymbal, every drum, and it's still not that huge, right? And because I've been doing sessions, it gives me the option of, you know, I can. So and who was Todd Sugarman brought this up recently because people said it to him, but he's famous, so he doesn't get his balls broke like me. The point is, in my setup here, right? I have a bass drum, a snare, a hi-hat, and a ride, right?
Yes.
So I have a 4-piece kit right here. That's my 4-piece.
There you go.
I just did a 10-song jazz record for someone here.
Yes.
Now, I played on this set of drums. All I did was I played this. I played brushes, hi-hat, 1 or 2 crashes, you know, maybe a different china for a sound. Hardly the toms. My point is, I don't care if there's 4,000 things, but, you know, instead of, and actually one of them, the funny thing was I did a brush thing, a little brush thing. And right there he goes, oh, man, I thought this guy was a metal guy with that setup. The wrong way. I see you playing, and when you sat in for me, it was great. That was a nice thing, too, when I saw you out there with the boys there in Queens Boulevard.
Yeah, well, you know, thank you. I mean, when I got the call, I dropped to the floor. Frenk Bellucci's calling me. All right, Frank. Well, again, thank you very much. And I guess we'll be in touch. I'll see you on Facebook with your greatest jokes.
Yeah. I've been so much joking lately.
All right, so thanks a lot. And I'll sign off here, and we'll talk soon, okay? Thank you, Frank.
Thanks a lot, pal. See ya.
All right, bye now.
God bless you.